Hello everyone, it's Andy here from REVlogue. I'm finally in my new pod. I hope you guys like the new setting in the background here. And thank you so much for all the patience. I know the episodes have been kind of few and far between nowadays, but I still don't have a kitchen, so yeah, please bear with me. It'll be a little while for the updates to come on regularly again. But yeah, without further ado, today I want to discuss my experiences at a Hyundai dealership. So long story short, I was interested in a couple of vehicles from Hyundai. They honestly have just been on a roll. They're churning out really cool products. The first car that I was really interested in, mainly because before the whole pandemic happened, so my workplace has installed some new EV chargers, and I wanted to take advantage of that because we get free charging. And right as that happened, Hyundai actually had a crazy deal on the not the new Ioniq, which is really cool, but the current Ioniq EV. I think it was maybe $1,000 or $1,500 down, and $109 a month. I mean, to me that's a crazy deal. I think at one point when I did the math, I was actually going to make money by having that car when I was commuting regularly from the money I would save from the gas, even with insurance and everything included. So it was a no-brainer, right? So I started calling the dealerships, and unfortunately at the time, fortunately I guess, because we don't have to commute anymore and I'd be stuck with a lease payment. Basically the car was so popular and they had such a low volume that I didn't have access to those cars. In fact, that's okay, at first I was really angry because I thought Hyundai was doing some false advertisement to kind of lure people into the dealership. And that wasn't the case. It was just that I was so late in the game in getting into this deal. So anyhow, I go into a couple of dealerships, and one of the worst experiences I've ever had at a dealer, the manager came out to meet me, and while we were talking about the car, they didn't even have the car to begin with. Actually, they had one, but they weren't gonna give it to me. The manager came out and flat out told me that he wasn't gonna give it to me at that deal, and he wanted proof. So I had, of course, a photo of the Hyundai website promoting that deal, so I showed it to him. First, he didn't believe me, and then the second time, he was basically mocking me, saying, "Oh, if this deal is so good, like why would I give it to you? I would drive it myself." And I was like, really? Like that's the type of comment I get for coming into a dealership to basically say, "Shut up and take my money"? I mean, that was unprecedented for me. I've never had that sort of experience at a dealership. I walked in saying that, "Hey, I'll give you my money," and they refused. So, obviously it needs to be at a right deal for everyone, I guess. But yeah, no, it was just really strange, and I should have known better after that first experience. But as you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan, actually. So right dab in the center of my wall is actually the WRC car from Hyundai. They, for the first time ever as a Korean manufacturer, they got the title of the manufacturers in the WRC for actually 2 years in a row, 2019 and 2020. So of course, for me being someone from Korea, I thought this is such a crazy turn of event. I grew up watching Subarus and the famous World Rally Blue and the gold wheels in my middle school days. When I turned the speed channel on in like the 1 a.m. times. And that was like my idol car, growing up. And now I'm, in love with this sky blue thing. Like I said, I should have learned my lesson the first time after going to the Hyundai dealership, but all of this racing pedigree that they're building up recently, I thought it'd be cool for me to kind of chip in and basically support what they're doing, because I think they're really onto something with the N brand. They're actually legitimately making good products, and hopefully I'll get to review one soon. Actually, I would have been able to had I bought one for myself. But yeah, long story short, so I never ended up getting the Ioniq because I basically got mocked for wanting a good deal that Hyundai officially advertised on their website. And then the Veloster N came around, and I read so many good reviews about the DCT version of that car. I actually know a couple of people in Hyundai, and I've just heard so many good things about that car. So it would have been the very first car I would buy without test driving it, which sounds crazy. But I was so into the idea of supporting the brand because of their motorsport theme that they're going for. And I don't know if you see this photo here, but basically, so that's my S2000. And thank you for this calendar. A subscriber and a good friend of mine actually got me this, so I'm representing it here on the wall. But yeah, it's just, I have a very, like most people would argue that the S2000 is basically one of the best manual transmission experiences. So I want to diversify, right? I already have the best manual transmission experience and a rear-wheel drive experience, and naturally a Spirited. VTEC is probably one of the best engines. But anyhow, I wanted a turbo hatchback and specifically double clutch gearbox. And again, this sky blue car, it just took place in my heart, and I was actively looking for one. But I am not looking for one anymore, and here's why. So I ran across two dealerships, one here locally to me, and one in Florida. So obviously the one here would make the job easier. So I walked in, I saw the car, I sat in it, didn't get to drive it. I didn't even expect to be honest, but they wanted 10K more than the MSRP price. 10K. I mean, I don't know. I was just so speechless. And this is what I said verbatim at the dealership. I literally asked them, I looked them straight in the face and I asked them, do you think I'm stupid? And look, like I get that cars that are high in demand, like the new C8, Corvette and stuff like that, go way over the MSRPs. And maybe the dealer is not to blame 100%. Don't be that stupid consumer that just, jacks up the cost for everyone. Look, I want to support Hyundai, but like 10K over MSRP, I was so upset when I heard that. It basically, I don't know, like, I know, like, they gave me the whole spiel about like supply and demand and all this crap, but like knowing that this car is just gonna drop half the value in like the first couple of years, I mean, I'm not gonna pay 10K over MSRP. So, and like I said, I'm not commuting right now, so I am not really in a hurry for a daily driver. The only reason why I was seeking one is A, to keep the miles off the S2000, and then B, in order to turn it a bit more track oriented in terms of track safety. It wasn't going to be a very daily friendly car after having the roll cage and the seat, the 6-point harness and all that crap, the Hans device. I made a whole safety related video on this topic, so if you want to check that out, click the link above. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what to think. I mean, I actually posted this on a Veloster N Facebook page to see what they think, and a lot of them thought that was also absurd. But I don't know if the notion is the same here in the States yet, but basically in Korea, the manual Veloster Ns have actually dropped in value significantly, and a lot of people consider the DCT and the manual car even almost in different leagues. So yeah, I mean, look, like, I just wish, like, Hyundai, I think, is really churning out cool designs. Obviously I've one of my friends worked at Hyundai as a designer, so we were able to get a lot of insights from him. And I think, not just the design, but Hyundai and Kia, I think, are just churning out damn good products. But they're gonna have to work on their sales channel and not treat people like crap. I mean, When I watched the Velociran review from Savage Geese, Savage Geese is actually one of my favorite YouTube channels because he's just so honest and straight to the point. And even he talks about how, his friend was just dicked around at the Hyundai dealership. They wouldn't let him test drive the car and all this crazy nonsense. I mean, look, the last thing you need, after building up such a good brand reputation, after being made fun of for so long, for making truthfully unreliable cars from the beginning, and now the quality is there, and now it's not just a car for necessity. They're actually churning out really like cool products that people want to buy, and they're even making lifestyle products like the Genesis brand. So I just, I wish the best for the brand. I want to support the brand. Like I said, centerfold, t-shirts. I mean, all I need is the car. Make it easy for me, please, Hyundai. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of REVlogue. And I hope to be doing some more car reviews in the near future. Like I said, I still have a lot to do around this new place. But yeah, stay tuned. Thank you.